when John Gotti, the Dapper Don, was finally taken down in 1992. Many believed it was the beginning of the end of the American Mafia. The flashy headlines faded, the cameras turned away, and the streets seemed a little quieter. But what really happened behind the scenes? Did the Mafia vanish? Or did it just get smarter, leaner, and quieter? In today's episode of Mafia Tales, we're diving into the world of organized crime after John Gotti. John Gotti's 1992 conviction was a seismic event. The Gambino boss had evaded justice for years, beating cases with a smirk and a swagger. But when his underboss Sammy the Bull, Garvano, flipped, it exposed the Gambino hierarchy and led to Gotti's downfall. His conviction wasn't just personal, it sent a message. The government had finally figured out how to crack La Cosa Nostra, surveillance, RICO charges, and turning high-level insiders into witnesses. After Gotti's fall, the feds went on a full-blown offensive. The 1990s saw a wave of indictments against major crime families. The RICO Act, originally passed in 1970, was now being wielded with deadly precision. Bosses, capos, and soldiers were now scooped up. Lucchese, Colombo, Genovese, Bonanno, and Gambino families all took hits. The message was clear. The Mafia was no longer untouchable. But here's where it gets interesting. The Mafia didn't die. It adapted. Gone were the flashy suits and public shootouts. In came a new generation of mobsters, low-profile, business-minded, and ruthlessly discreet. Operations shifted from violence to quiet infiltration. Construction, trucking, waste management, gambling, union control, old-school rackets with new-school cover. The rule was simple. Keep it quiet, keep it running. While the Gambinos suffered from leadership instability post-Gotti, other families like the Genovese thrived by staying low-key. The Genovese family, often called the Ivy League of the Mafia, became masters of subtlety. Surveillance showed them running rackets through shell companies, lawyers, and union leaders. They weren't interested in the spotlight. They were interested in power. The Bonanno family, once feared under Joseph Massino, imploded in the early 2000s. Massino, facing life in prison, became the first sitting boss of a mafia family to cooperate with the feds. This was unthinkable. His cooperation led to dozens of arrests and trials. It confirmed the mafia's worst fear. Loyalty was fading. The oath of the omerta was breaking down. Informants became the new norm. Soldiers, capos, even underbosses. In the 2010s, mafia activity continued, just quieter and more compartmentalized. Indictments still happened, but they were smaller. Fewer shootouts, more fraud. Less blood, more business. Gangs in New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, and Chicago still operated. The mob wasn't what it was in the 1980s, but it was far from dead. In fact, some crews began re-establishing old connections. Drug trade, gambling rings, offshore banking. But the golden rule remained. Keep your head down. Technology, surveillance, and informants changed everything. The Mafia Code began to feel like a relic of the past. Young recruits were fewer. Many chose street gangs or drug cartels over the traditional mob life. Still, some older figures tried to hold on. Cases like the 2019 Operation Glass House and the arrest of Gambino acting boss Frank Cali showed the mob was still active, but also still vulnerable. The Mafia was no longer king of the underworld, but it hadn't vanished. It had evolved. So what happened to the Mafia after John Gotti? It shrunk. It adapted. It lost its shine, but not its shadow. Today's Mafia is a whisper compared to the roar of Gotti's era. But that whisper still echoes in union halls, construction sites, and backroom deals. As long as there's money to be made in the shadows, someone will be there to make it.
Well, hackers have stolen almost £1.2 billion worth of cryptocurrency in what could be the largest theft of its kind.
Thank you for watching Mafia Tales. If you liked this episode, hit that like button, subscribe for more modern Mafia stories, and drop a comment down below. Do you think the Mafia is dead or just in hiding?